But let's start with what we saw last night. It's a 14-all tie. Matter of fact, it should have been a lead for the Dallas Cowboys. You know, you get a team like the Titans, turns it over that much in the first half. You can't have a lead at home going into the break. That's a bad feeling. They did find Amari Cooper, and in the first half, they did run Ezekiel Elliott a ton. In the second half, he only got 6 touches, that being Elliott. Cooper was modestly, at best, effective, and the Cowboys fell at home 28-14. And with all the huff and all the bluster and all the hype about the Cowboys coming out of the bye week, that's what you do out of a bye week? Oh, and stop me if you heard me this before, but Sean Lee got hurt. Stop me if you heard me this before, but it's his hamstring. I know. Well, when he's healthy, he's never healthy. So here we are, Cowboys 3-5 on a trajectory which takes them out of the playoffs. Season not over, but feeling like it's, what's the Yogi Berra expression? It's getting late early? Sure is. And then you have the Raiders, who embarrassed themselves last Thursday night by absolutely quitting on John Gruden. And you know what I'm here to tell you? I'd rather be the Raiders than the Cowboys. The race to the middle does you nothing. Don't get me wrong, the Giants still have to find a quarterback. The Washington Redskins got blown out at home by the Atlanta Falcons, right? A team that is mired and muddled with injuries on their defensive side of the football. And they have Alex Smith, who's Mr. Regular Season and Captain Checkdown. And then you have the Eagles, who have looked every bit the championship team with the post-championship hangover. It's not like anybody's running away and hiding in that division. And so I'm not telling you that the Cowboys season is lost, but even if it isn't lost and they make the playoffs, I'd still rather be the Raiders. Blasphemy, I know. What historically can you point to? The Sixers? The Astros? Hell, the Celtics, the Bucks. All teams that understood, who cares if you're in the middle? If you don't have the right pieces and then you overpay in trying to fix some of those pieces, you're bound to be in cap hell and be stuck in the middle. The Cowboys lost again last night, which is a win for the Raiders, who just so happened to have held up a complete heist of Jerry Jones and his staff and got him and gave him Amari Cooper. Oh, no, we don't want to lose Amari Cooper, a wide receiver who's not as good as the $14 million he's going to be paid next year. Oh, no, but maybe we could be talked into it with a first-round pick. Oh, a first-round pick? Oh, you got us, Jerry. You got us. Oh, man, you just really, wink, wink, nod, nod, got over on us on the trade. Oh, Khalil Mack, he's so awesome. He is awesome. Bears won without him again this weekend. There's no doubting that he's awesome, but he's not $90 million awesome. $79 million under the cap for next year. $79 million. They are flush with cash. They are like, was it Scrooge McDuck? Right? You guys remember DuckTales? Don't act like you didn't watch DuckTales. DuckTales, woo! Right? And Scrooge McDuck used to take a little dive, a little swim in his piles of money. That's Gruden right now. Swimming in his money. Vegas will float him some cash because they're cash poor. And, oh, yeah, by the way, they have 5 first-round picks over the next 2 years. Gruden might screw it up, but all you got to hit on is 2 out of 5, and you're doing pretty well for yourself. Here's Jerry Jones after the game.
Dak is completely capable of looking at what the situation was last night. You don't have anybody that's more capable to look at that and take it to the practice field and take it to learn from that for the next ball game.
Yeah, is he your quarterback for the next 10 years?
Dak is the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. He's young, and he's going to get extended.
He's young, he's going to get extended. You know what? We think he's so average, we're going to pay him at a rate commensurate with the top quarterback in the game, which is going to forever hurt our ability to put more pieces around him, which will completely shine a light on just how average he is. Remember, the Cowboys, they didn't just change offensive line coaches during the bye week. They changed most of their coaching staff during the offseason. So you had all these relationships with the players. Those guys are gone. The leadership of Witten is gone. They never really replaced Des Bryant until last week, and it's not like Amari Cooper in the last 2 years has shown the ability to be what Des Bryant was at the peak of his career. No one seems to know what they're doing. Sean Lee's always hurt. The offensive line isn't as good as it's billed to be. You still don't have the dominance of Travis Frederick. And, oh, yeah, by the way, you're going to overpay Dak Prescott in the offseason? And your first round draft pick is going to the Raiders. And because Amari Cooper's set to play under that fifth-year option, you're probably going to redo his contract and ultimately overpay Amari Cooper. Outside of that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the show? Hey, Ezekiel Elliott, right? Has he got his second contract yet? No. Is he good? Yes, he's actually awesome. So, look, I would rather be a team flush with cash and with draft picks, even if I have no idea who's going to be my next stars, as opposed to guys who have shown themselves at the most important position in the NFL is quarterback. And the only time you can get away with having an average quarterback is when he's on a rookie contract. Right? It's what the Bears have shown, what the Rams have shown, pick out any of these guys on these deals, or what the Cowboys were able to show 2 years ago. But once he starts getting paid at the level of a top 10 quarterback, and he'll probably get as much money as anybody in the game because that's the way the game works, then you're going to struggle to continue to add pieces to hide what he really is, which is Anytime you say that, man, I really like it when he runs it and he's a quarterback, that's telling me she's got a great personality when I ask you how she looks. Every rule in the game has been changed and designed to protect quarterbacks in the pocket because we have spoken as the American sports viewer saying we like guys that throw a football to a wide receiver who catches a football. That's what seems to make us feel good inside. And you can give me Cam Newton, but he's not Cam Newton as a runner. And even Cam Newton as a runner is bound to likely get hurt, as big a human being as he is. And he seems like the biggest human being on earth when he runs. I would rather be the Raiders, who some people call the laughing stock of the league, tied into a 10-year, $100 million contract with John Gruden, caught in between stadiums, in between cities, than I would the biggest name in professional sports, which is the Dallas Cowboys, with the sickest stadium, the wealthiest owner, and the biggest evaluation. Because I don't care about being 3-5, 5-5, 8-8. I'm cool being really bad if I'm purposely really bad so I can load up on draft picks and stash away cash for the future. That's what the Raiders have done. So congrats to the Cowboys. They have found their hideously, completely, and totally average quarterback for the next 5 years. And they're going to get goaded into, it's not Dak's fault. I don't think it's all Dak's fault. I don't. I think the offensive line, I think they weren't able to find a tight end in short notice because they thought they were getting their Hall of Fame tight end back. But they didn't. And then they cut Dez at the last possible moment and didn't replace him until last week. And yeah, a little bit of bad luck with Travis Frederick coming down with an autoimmune disease. Like, these are all bad, some of it's bad luck and bad timing. And Sean Lee gets hurt again. And some of it's bad luck and bad timing. But you got a chance to get out of this Dak deal, and you're not going to because everyone's going to do everything except blame Dak Prescott. He may not be all of the problem, but he is not the solution. Here's Troy Aikman explaining the Cowboys' problems on 1310 The Ticket.
This team, over a long period of time, has been what it's been. And it hasn't always mattered who the head coach has been. And so, to me, if you're asking me, I'd say there has to be a complete overhaul of the entire organization. You just can't simply replace head coaches and say, now it's going to be better. No, it's been shown that it's not better. I've heard Jerry say, okay, look, we're going to do it differently. I'm going to do it differently. I can no longer, but it's the same. Nothing changes.
Nothing seems to change.